Welcome to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we dive deep and answer the ultimate question: how did you hack into tech sales? Each week, we bring you inspiring stories, proven strategies, and insider tips from top performers who've cracked the code to break into tech sales and thrive. Whether you're just starting out, making a career pivot, or ready to level up, this is your go-to space for actionable advice and real-world success stories. Let's crack the code together, because hacking into tech sales isn't just a dream, it's your next move. Now with your host, the founder of Tech Sales Funnels and the tech sales hacker himself, Dayvisson DaSilva.
All right, everyone, welcome again to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast. Here, Dayvisson, your host, the tech sales hacker. And today I'm super excited. I'm bringing a friend of mine back in the days from Microsoft, Mark Jagger. He's a cloud practice leader. He has a lot of experience. Today, I'm super excited to dive into his professional experience, but also a little bit about who he is and where he's coming from. And he has a lot of great stuff to share. So we're going to jump right in, and we're going to be asking a bunch of really cool questions. Here we go. Hey, Mark.
Thanks for having me on here, Davis. And I feel lucky to actually be able to join you. As I had to, I know that we planned this last week, but I had to squeeze it in and jumble a few things to make it happen, or it wasn't going to happen that early this week. But anyway, let me know where you wanted me to start. And
Yeah, it's all good. So everyone here on this podcast, it's a community of tech sellers, right? People, a lot of them are trying to get into tech sales. They're trying to hack into tech sales. Others are just trying to ramp up on their careers, just trying to get a better job or move between companies. And a lot of the questions and conversations we have here is just really giving hope and clarity and how people can make those moves and how they can progress their career. And I know you have a lot of experience in technology, and I'm super excited to see where this conversation is going. And let's start high level though. Like, who is Mark? Like, where is for someone? Let's take technology out of the way for just a second and have a quick introduction.
sure. I am a proud father of two beautiful two daughters, a 9-year-old and a 16-year-old. And my primary headquarters are here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. That's where the kiddos go to school. But I live on down the West Coast in California for part of the year as well. Right now, it's a little bit warmer down there, so we're up here. Kids are full on into sports. I'm involved in coaching
Oh, nice.
during for basketball and soccer. My wife coaches lacrosse and basketball along with me with
Oh,
my
wow.
kiddos as well. So we're fully involved in that. Um, from a business standpoint, my travel to get to the position that I'm in today is very unconventional.
Mhm.
So I guess I'll start from the beginning. I'm an
Yeah.
entrepreneur that got a business degree here at Seattle Pacific University, and I was thrown in to creating a high tech service division for
Mm.
it was about a $400 million computer sales company.
Interesting.
So I was still actually finishing out my business degree while I was doing that. And um, after doing that and building that to as a profit center for the company, I decided I wanted to do it for myself. So a couple of the guys I graduated with, we founded a system integrator company, and it was actually three other individuals, and kind of kicked that off. To make a short story long,
Mm.
I started in business development with the company. I moved over into a CIO role and then into a CEO role along the way. Took the company all the way from infancy through maturity and sold it in 2019. Um,
Wow.
and along the way, bought out my partners. They all went their own ways and had successful careers doing other things. One of them in law. One of them owned
Mhm.
McDonald's deal or McDonald's restaurants.
Okay.
all over the Northwest as well. Really weird, but anyway, I always thought I was going to be the second baseman for the New York Yankees, and
Yeah.
so ending up being in sales and technology is definitely was definitely a surprise to me. So I can't talk about them, but um, once once I decided that I was going to get out. Well, actually, step back. My company was
Yeah.
a system integrator. We started as a system integrator. We moved on and became, and I'd say morphed into a managed service provider, and then transformed into a cloud service provider
Mm.
before the sale of the company.
Oh
I
wow.
myself spent time for the last 10 years as the CEO of the company and building out the leadership, or actually was in leadership and mostly led the business development and the sales and marketing part of the organization. So what that is in a consulting organization is I spend my days meeting with the delivery team, and making sure that I had to be immersed in the technology because I'm rubbing shoulders with consulting engineers
Mm.
and technicians and consultants and project managers on a daily basis. But that was just oversight. I was on the side of helping create business, new business, providing value for the clients. I had to do some of this CFO roles. I had a Within the organization, I had a controller, and then I also had a CPA that did the finance. But I was still required to do most of what a CFO does within the organization. So, wow, that's great.
Wow.
I was good with numbers already, so it came easy. But it wasn't something I loved to do. What I love doing was problem solving with the customers, finding ways that we could apply technology to their problems, providing value, helping them be more efficient, helping them reduce costs, helping them increase performance, helping them with their connection points with their clients. That's where I loved spending my time, and we did that in a number of different forms. I got away from that
Mm.
late in my days as an entrepreneur, and that was hard for me. Doing some of these other things like managing the numbers and managing the business, that was something that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't sign up for when I originally got it and expanded it. And the selling piece of what I did, from a coaching, an advisory, and a leadership perspective was really what I enjoyed doing the most, and didn't actually spend enough time doing that. And that's why I sold and I got out. I
Interesting.
planned on retirement. Um, but after traveling the world with the family for a year,
Mm-hmm.
which, don't get me wrong, it was not
Hey,
rough at all.
that's a lot of people
Uh,
dreaming of that, right?
it was super fun. Built some amazing memories, and then COVID hit, and the rest of the world
Oh,
didn't want us, so we bought an RV and we traveled around the United States in an RV, and we homeschooled our oldest, and it was before my 9-year old was actually in school, so we built some really cool memories traveling up and down the West Coast
amazing.
and up the North Side. We did that for a year, and along the way, I started to my heartstrings started to pull on some of the things I was missing, and
Mm-hmm.
in my business with my business identity, and that was the solution selling. That was the solution
Interesting.
selling of what I did. I really, really miss doing that. And as a general manager slash CEO of a 25-person consulting company, you wear a lot of hats. And when
Mm-hmm.
I say that, uh, you have to be in order to be successful doing that, you have to be good at a lot of things, but you don't have enough time to be great at just one thing. And
Interesting.
what I really am passionate about is being great at solution selling. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
brought me to today. I have been spending the last 24 months immersing myself,
24 months.
last 24 months, re-immersing myself, consulting, advising, doing hackathons, re-immersing myself in the community, re-educating and updating my technical knowledge, through accredited certifications across the big three. And when I say
Interesting.
accredited certifications, I mean architectural level, um, GCP,
We're,
Azure
we're talking about
certifications.
people. people go to college for that. Like people spend like 3 4 years just trying to do what you just described. Um, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's amazing.
Yeah, well, I
That's
mean, I've spent. You say that, and it's been a dedicated 2 years. I mean, I spent 20 hours a week at least dedicated to expanding, rebuilding, and um, just diving into new technology. As you know, this industry moves. It moves so quickly.
yeah,
Leadership is like riding a bike. You come out and you just get back on. But technology, it changes. It changes from day to day. So I've spent a lot of time, and that's where my passion is applying technology to solve business level problems for organizations, enterprise, medium, mid-size enterprise as well. So bringing me to today, I mean, my goal really is to be a global black belt in the next 3 years. And the program and the
mm,
PhD educational program that I just actually completed, 24 months worth, is a foundation for me to, or a platform for me to at least technically have that foundation where I can take the rest of my skills, apply them, and go from there. So that's
interesting.
what I'm doing today. Is now I'm looking to spread my wings and take a lot of this knowledge, skills, and experience and apply it in enterprise setting. So
Wow, I love how you summarize your career in 10 minutes. um,
well,
and it was about 10 minutes, and then I was gonna say, you start as an entrepreneur right off the bat out of college in technology, which is super amazing. You did really well. Sounds like you did well, and you were like, walked out, sold, and went through this journey of rediscovering yourself when it comes to not rediscovering yourself, but getting more and more knowledge. And do you mentioned about black belt? Can you describe a little bit more about that? Maybe that's uh, something that would be good to dive deeper
yeah,
in.
that is a great question. So expansion. What is a global black belt? And again, this is a loose term and a loose targeted direction for me, but it's in scope of what I'm looking to attain in the next 2 to 3 years.
Mhm.
Microsoft has their own global black belt term that's nominated from internally, and it's essentially someone that has a deep and understanding and impact on a particular program or a particular solution set within. I will use Azure as an example. With
Mhm.
Azure, and they are deeply immersed with heavy impact in the community, and that does tie to consulting and sales
Mhm.
and project management. It kind of all ties together. So the program that I put together includes, actually, I'll pull some of this up here. I mean, the certifications. I think I sent you a list of
Yeah.
the certifications, but
Yeah. I saw that.
I dove in. I mean, for Microsoft, it's a long list. I mean, obviously the 900 level, which is, excuse me, the 100 level certifications, which have a 900 exam across the board in Azure. And then I went deep on Power Platform, functional
I love that.
consultant, architect, and then also AI engineering within Microsoft, and then also Azure architectural design, solutions design, that is, and then some of the foundationals around that. And then I focused in AWS, which I really focused on their AI and machine learning. One of the things that I love, and I think that there's huge opportunities out there right now, is just understanding how to utilize AI and apply it within
Mhm.
within an organization. And then the Google side, GCP, I really dove deep on their AI as well, but through the Google Cloud architectural design, Google Engineer, the GCP ACE. I took those. I took and passed those. And I'll tell you, those the Microsoft exams, for some reason, they just come a lot easier to me. But those Google exams
Interesting.
were tough. Uh,
Yeah.
I spent where I
What
thought
was the difference?
I brought like probably 60% of the knowledge that I just had from what I was doing before, but
Okay.
it was legacy. There's a 5-year gap.
Mm,
So the other, 50, 60%, 40 to 60%, on these platforms, relearning that and adding some of the emerging technologies and the new
the
names.
cloud.
It
Yeah.
was challenging, but I had a fun time doing it. I'm a Wired magazine geek, so I just absorbed the technology, and I just love. I mean, I loved going through the process, and I take some pride in how well rounded I've built out and rebuilt my knowledge around these
Yeah.
platforms. So
It's impressive. A lot of times, and what I notice, at least in my personal experience, in the people who are very technical, who understand a lot of the technology, they're not as savvy when it comes to selling, right?
yeah.
Or if you're a really, really good seller, sometimes you don't dive as deep into technology. Now, you manage to do both, right? And
Mm, sure.
like, what do you think about this whole, for people who are listening now, they might be thinking, oh my gosh, I can never do this. I can never do what Mark did. I will never be this technical, dive this deep. Is that needed in order to be successful as a tech seller, or what's your take on that, or just like specific roles that you really have to go deep, like the black belt?
That's a great question. To be a tech seller, the technology is less important than the selling. But depending upon the type of person you are, I come from a background of being and rubbing shoulders with consultants and engineers that were very had very deep knowledge on the technical
Mm,
side. So um, I would have always, even though I had to be on the selling side, and it's tough to actually compare your technical skills with people that are doing it every day. But rubbing shoulders with them, there's a lot of jealousy and saying, "Hey, I wish I had the time of the
yeah,
day to actually
take
teach
to the
you
next
and dive
level.
deeper." Yeah, and that's what I spent a lot of time doing. So I would say, to answer the question, it depends on the type of person. I'm someone that I just like to be able to go deeper than anyone that I'm talking to. Is that a
Yeah.
possibility? No, it's not. But what I do to do my best is to at least expand my knowledge and my skills and go as deep as possible, to be able to go as deep as possible, because then that's who you're connecting with the CIOs, the
Mm,
CTOs, and being able to have those deeper level conversations from a selling standpoint. It's way easier to have a coaching conversation and a consultative discussion than just going in and trying to sell.
mhm.
If you can actually just have an advisory level discussion, peer level discussion with a CIO, it just becomes hey, how do I connect the dots for some of
Natural.
these solutions that you guys need? I'm already filling this out. Um,
Mm,
and one of the things that actually I wanted to circle back to that you mentioned is this. Yeah, the tech industry has this. The word sales has this negative connotation to it, and I think getting the at least looking at it from a different perspective, as if you can get into a mindset of building your knowledge to be an advisor or a coach, then the selling just happens. It
natural.
becomes
Yeah.
really easy. And in fact, in my organization, we had some of the same challenges. People didn't want to sell. No, I don't want to be a salesperson. I just want to be a consultant. I just want to, I
Mm.
just want to be an engineer. So I created a program where we brought in a professional sales coach, selling coach. We labeled it as consultative advisory and consultative
Yeah.
coaching.
They
The
take the ass
program,
out of the
yeah,
play.
the program is based on the Sandler sales submarine. I don't know how familiar you are with Sandler, but we created this program that really transformed and flipped the kind of the aura of what selling was.
Mm,
And there was some real traction that we had within the organization when it came to selling. And that is, hey, a lot of the consultants and the engineers, they realized that if they were going to be able to get budget, they were going to able to negotiate for budget, and they were going to be able to apply new solutions with the organization. Selling, which we called it something different, was the
Yeah.
easiest way to get from point A to point B on behalf of their client. And once that resonated with some of these consultants, our traction within the organizations that we were embedded in, it just exploded. So
Nice, nice. I love the perspective of a teamwork. Everyone's selling, no matter which which position
right,
you hold in the organization. You are part of the that push, and as long as everyone understands that, it makes everyone's life much easier, right? It's
absolutely.
it's an agent. It takes effort. I was, as you were describing, I was thinking about, no, great answer by the way, about the balance between being tacky and not being tacky. Uh, but not everyone has this growth mindset of diving deeper, learning new things. Sometimes people went to college or they got a PhD and then they're like, I'm done. That kind of deal. Is that something that can resonate with on the tech world, or like how long can you stay without learning anything? How long can you survive?
Well, that's. I mean, I feel lucky that I put myself in a position to have the amount of time in a given day to dedicate that type of time to it, because not everyone has that luxury. And again,
No.
sales, like as well, sales is Goethe says it. Things that matter the most should never be at the mercy of the things that matter the least. So time prioritization in sales is essential, and being able to dedicate, I mean, like I said, I've dedicated 20 hours a day, or 40 hours, excuse me, 20 hours a day in a given work week for the last 24 months generally to this. Not everyone has, not everyone's going to have that type of time. But being able to spend an hour a day as a sales engineer or a
Mm,
pre-sales architect, being able to spend an hour a day just to learn emerging technologies, or spend time um, diving into storytelling, so that you can build those anecdotes to allow some of the people you're talking to visualize what
mm,
applying a new technology in their solution need setting could do for their organization. But yeah, it's just a matter of time prioritization. And I think as a sales or high tech salesperson, you need to section out some of that time on a given
mm.
day. Just how much is it just depends on the person.
Interesting. It's one of those things that feels like it's important, but it's not urgent, right? Because there's always a call on the calendar. There's always another meeting, and making time for I'm thinking about when I was an active seller, right?
Hmm.
Making time to study. It was always like after hours or weekends, and my wife was always asking me, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to get my next certification." It's a sacrifice, right? But it's needed. It's needed to be that advisor that you just described, and then become more like a consultant than just pushing a product, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, it's how do you prioritize your time? There's only 36 hours in a day, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, you're like, I understand you have time, and that's a privilege and a great opportunity. But even with time, some people have time and they cannot manage that. Is that any tip strategy that you use to study? Like, that's something that you can give to the audience that I really want to be like Mark, but I don't know if I can do it. Where do I start?
Well, I just, like I said, it's easier said than done. Have I been perfect in my approach? No, I missed weeks at a time, but I mean, that's the way it goes. Like I said, I had the worst sickness of, I think, my last decade, a couple weeks ago with the flu, and
So,
you just get diverted. If I was to say, if there's anything that I would recommend, is blocking it out, like just putting a placeholder to with an expectation of what you're going to do. Have it on your calendar. Have a placeholder where you just turn everything else off. Is that actually possible for sellers? Eh, you can make it as possible as close to possible as if you decide to do it that way. So
Mhm.
placeholding time for new learning or expanding learning within a certain technical set. Um, is that the most important thing for high tech sales? No, the selling aspect of it and the execution on it, the preparation, the mindset is the most important. But for like I said, for me, it's the technology because it comes easier to me because I'm so passionate about it. So
Yeah, yeah, makes total sense. I think just a side note here in the future, if maybe we can put up like a course and teach people how to get cloud certifications, and he's gonna be really successful teaching people. If you want to learn more about certifications, go to Mark's profile and look at his profile. They have he has listed a bunch of really amazing certifications. So
yeah,
congratulations on
you know
that.
what I can do is I created a transcript of everything.
Mm.
I'll go ahead and forward that on to you so
Oh, okay,
you can post that, and actually it'll
nice.
show a visual diagram of how I went about it. It doesn't show like the order in the way I went about it, but
Mm.
it does have a visual kind of diagram of the comprehensive look of the big three certifications that I've put in my tool belt. So
Nice. Yeah, I would love to have that, and then can share with the community. A lot of people are trying to catch up, which brings me to another point. Like these days, there's a lot of conversations about AI, and I mean, every single day there's new training, there's new knowledge. Um, as student of the technology and a master of learning how to master how to learn, where would you recommend people to concentrate when it comes to AI learning? Like, what is important if they're trying to be a seller or join,
hmm,
an organization that it has AI involved? What's your take on that whole AI transformation?
sure. So it's a broad. I mean, I would give a broad
Yeah.
answer with a few recommendations. Number one, AI is a broad term right now, and the amount of opportunity and value that can be provided by applying technology through AI to the general community or the enterprise community, it's huge right now. Pick something that you already believe in, like Chat GPT is even a broad term right now, but LLMs, there's just tons of opportunities out there within Microsoft. I put a lot of focus recently into Power Platform
Mm,
because of the ability for or the proliferation of AI and the ability to apply low code. I mean, it's expanding opportunities so quickly. So I'm super excited about low code, not just with the Power Platform, but some of the other big three solutions that are out there as well with low code. Be able to take it. Master storytelling. That
mm,
is put a focus on spending, every other week, research an anecdote of a solution that you may be able to apply within within one of your organizational targets or someone that you're already embedded with, and spend time being able to tell those stories and apply those stories to their situation, because that is the easiest way for a
mm.
CTO, a CIO, or someone within an organization to hold on one sec.
Yeah.
Tell them I'll be up in a few minutes. Okay. Thank you. What do I tell them? Just tell them to, or let them in the garage, and I'll tell them I'll be in 5 minutes. Okay. Um, sorry, where was I at?
Yeah, no
Uh,
problem.
uh,
The, the AI. Um, yeah, I lost you. Let's see. It's okay. We can edit this later, but
okay. But we were talking. We were talking about actionable items of what
Yeah,
we
you're
try
talking about power storytelling and then
storytelling,
power apps.
storytelling, yeah.
Yeah.
So being able to use stories to paint a picture for CIOs or at least the stakeholders that they can actually visualize what someone else has done to improve, to reduce overhead, or minimize costs, to improve efficiency, to expand connection with their with their client base. The CXOs always
Mm,
want to hear stories about new and cool stories about how technology allowed them to improve their customer success stories for them, right? So spending time in mastering storytelling, that'd be another thing. You talked about growth mindset. I mean, that's something that I think about daily, is what new can I add to my toolbox when it comes to just understanding and being able to have some of these peer level conversations with the people that are applying the technology within organizations. And then from a sales standpoint, again, I was much more on the leadership standpoint, is execution. Find a winning sales process and strategy and stick to
mm,
it. Not all sales processes work the same way within different organizations. So find a winning one that works for you within your organization. It may be prioritizing more time spent farming within the organization. It may actually require more time spent expanding your technical knowledge. But that
mm.
strategy and executing on that strategy, once you find it, it's easier to execute it once you realize what the winning strategy and execution to get there is. So I would say find that winning strategy and stick to it. Yeah.
I love it. Wow. You see, I told you we're gonna go by really fast in 30 minutes. It's
Hmm.
already passed, and we're coming to the end here. I have to go back actually, and I'm definitely gonna dive deeper into different topics that you described here.
Yeah.
In another, maybe we can go back in another episode. We might have to do like a round two here.
Yeah. Maybe we can
Um,
dive deeper on one of the pieces that we talked about, and then
yeah, I know you can go deep, and that's how you like to go
yeah, yeah,
in different areas. Just a closing here, Mark. As a cloud practice leader, any recommendations for early or mid, level sellers who are trying to ramp up in their career? I know you start entrepreneurship, and now you're like you went to corporate, big tech, now more like a consultant, trying to eventually get back in corporate. Any suggestions for sellers to ramp up their
yeah.
career?
Uh, I'll go back to the easiest way to be good and be passionate about something is find something that you already believe in. Find a solution sale that you already believe in, a company that you believe in,
Mm,
and everything else comes easy. The growth mindset, the storytelling, the finding that winning sales process, that'll all come easy if you start with the end in mind. That's something that you already believe in, and it, immerse yourself in the community, do the hackathons, and uh, yeah, from a networking standpoint, that's one thing that when I actually got out and
mm,
I cut off. I mean, I went dark for three and a half years.
I see.
And I'm not a regretful person, but if there are things that I do differently, as I would have still maintained some of the network, even though they didn't all go away, but I would have
Hmm.
still actually maintained some of that network more so. But it wasn't my plan at the time. So I look back but yeah, spend some time networking and sending out friendly evangelistic notes to everyone saying, "Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah,
What's up? What you're up to? Let's go have a beer." Because I think we're all born a couple drinks short of happiness. So having that with some of your networking friends and is always a
Nice.
nice thing too.
Nice. Thanks so much. Network, everyone. Concentrate on the things you love the most. Begin with the end in mind. That was all amazing. Something that resonated with me this conversation here, storytelling, very, very important. Also, become an advisor. So the more tech you get as a seller, a better advisor you become. So that was another thing that I will remember for sure this conversation. Thanks so much, Mark. I know
Yeah,
your time is precious, and we appreciate you coming in here today. And
yeah,
let's set up a second, eventually, a conversation.
great chatting with you, Davison. Yeah, it's great catching up as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining today.
Thanks, Davison. You too.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we crack the code and uncover the strategies to break into tech sales. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to hack their way into this exciting career. Remember, hacking into tech sales isn't just a goal, it's a mission. Let's keep hacking, learning, and winning together. Catch you next time.